Hello. Hi, how are you? Oh, we got more coming on. How cool. You can unmute yourselves for the time being while we get everybody on.
Yes, I came back and saw your little
Hello.
advert. Hello. And I thought I'd better come and see what's going on.
Yes, I'm glad you did.
Won't be here for long though.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Carolyn. How are you doing?
I am fine, thank you. Yeah.
Hey, Robert. Oh, we got Blake coming on. I'm just making sure everybody. I'm just keeping an eye on the attendees because I have to promote everybody separately to panelists. And once we've got a few on, thank you for joining me. I'm so excited. I am so excited. Okay, I'm just going to go in the group a moment and tag a few people. Oh, I can't minimize while I'm recording. Oh, okay. Talk amongst yourselves for a sec. Robert, tell them about our party later.
Yes, we are. We're merging two groups and marrying them together at 4 o'clock. So
that's 4 o'clock your time.
4 o'clock Central Standard Time. So I can't do the math that quick.
11 o'clock Spanish time. 11 o'clock Spanish time.
So you guys be sure to come join us for that. It's going to be fun.
I'll be in bed by then.
Yeah, it's late for Marion as well. Okay, I can't remember who else said they wanted to come.
Wasn't Joy going to be with you?
Are you going to stream this live on Facebook?
I am going to stream it, but if anybody's watching it on Facebook, they need to click on the Zoom link to actually come and join in. So I'm just making sure. Okay. Woo! This is exciting, and I'm just so thrilled because we reached 500 members finally. It took a little while to get there, but then suddenly. Yes. It always puts you off when they use different profile photos on different platforms. Right, okay, let's do this. Let's stream live. I'm just going to get my props ready.
I hope you guys are wearing the right clothes for later.
Oh, absolutely. All right, okay, have we got any more attendees waiting? No, we haven't. So, right then, live on Facebook. Here we go. Share to your page. And then just bear with me while I then share it from my page to my group. Don't you love technology? My Chrome crashed about 5 minutes before setting all of this up, which wasn't good.
It's like waiting for an operation.
Okay, so that's in the page. So now let's share it. In a group. Okay, we're just getting the tech sorted, and then we will be away. Da, da, da. Okay, one more share. Share to my timeline. Alrighty, okay. I think we're everywhere where we could possibly be.
That sounds painful.
I know. So I hope you're ready for this. And now my laptop's just, there we go, my laptop had just died. All right, okay, so I need to go back to Zoom. I'm not going to be keeping an eye on comments. So for anybody who's watching on Facebook, welcome. We are streaming live now on my page. So wave everybody, yeah. We're streaming on my page and in my group, Speaking Secrets, and on my personal timeline as well, yeah. But guys, although you're very welcome to watch it all on Facebook, it would be way better if you can actually join us in the room, and we have Joy joining us. So just click on the Zoom link. You have to go over to my group to actually join in the party, and then you just click on the Zoom link, and then I promote you to panelist, and then you can all come and join the party in the actual room. So a big welcome to everybody in the room, as well as anybody who might be watching live on Facebook. This is really exciting for me because, do you know what? The first thing I want to say is thank you to everybody for making Speaking Secrets such an awesome group. I can't thank you enough for making it so special, because the thing that makes it special is not so much just that, I mean, you all engage with the, you know, the posts that I do, and you hop on my lives and all that kind of thing, which is lovely. And percentage wise, the engagement is really good if you compare it to these great big massive groups where they've got huge numbers. But percentage wise, my engagement is just as good as, if not better, than some of those, which I'm really thrilled about. The thing that I really love the best, and that really kind of, you know, puts a warm glow in my heart, is the way that you guys all help each other, you know. So it's not just all about, you know, me, it's about the community, which is fantastic. So I know that we've, you know, that through the community support, a lot of people have taken their ideas further, which is brilliant. So I love that. So thank you very much for that indeed. And I want to say thank you to all the top 10 contributors that I posted earlier on today, and congratulations to Carolyn, who is our #1 contributor this month. Yeah! And I'm actually going to start rewarding people for contributing. So the person who is #1 every month is going to get a free 30-minute mentoring session from me. So Carolyn, we need to get together to book that in for you. And that can be on anything to do with how to move your business forward through speaking. So we'll just have a nice brainstorming session and come up with some ideas for you to move forward on that. So everybody, it's worthwhile engaging, because you might win the next spot next month. Alrighty, so to celebrate getting to the magic 500 members, I decided, what can I do that's special? And I thought, yeah, we could just have a kind of free-for-all mad party kind of thing. But I want to give another big shout out to the fabulous Arnie Giskey, who gave me the idea of running a kind of online version of Toastmasters. Because we were working on his webinar, and he was saying that he is aware that, you know, the dreaded ums creep in. And, you know, I was saying, like, and here's the thing about the dreaded ums. You don't have to completely eliminate them. At Toastmasters, they're very kind of particular about the ums. And the idea is to eliminate them. But when you're talking in normal conversation, you naturally. What you don't want is it to be all the time, every other word, because that can be distracting. And Arnie was saying that he would love to go to a Toastmasters club to help him with that, but because he's on the move and he's, you know, going, literally hopping from country to country, it's just impossible. And then he said, you know what, that's going to be the same, you know, for other entrepreneurs who are just too busy to get to a Toastmasters club and all of that kind of thing. And he said it would be really cool if you did that, and you know, just did it online. Number one, the advantages are that people don't have to drive there, take a lot of time out of their evening. With it being online, you're not limited to the local community. You're literally networking from everybody around the globe. You just look at who we've got on here tonight. We've got Rachel, who's living in Germany. I'm in Spain. Fiona is also in Spain. Robert is in Decatur, Alabama, in the US, as is Blake. Joy is in the UK, in London. Carolyn is from South Africa, in Cape Town. So it truly is an international networking opportunity as well. I mean, how cool is that? Just this little small gathering that we've got here, we're spanning not just countries but continents, which is fantastic. Now, here's the other kind of things that I wanted to do even bigger and better than Toastmasters. First of all, I've got a background. I mean, I've spent years with Toastmasters. I actually was the founding president of the Armada Speakers Club in Plymouth, which is where I lived before I came to Spain. So I know how it all runs, but here's the thing that you're going to get advantage with here. Now, I've been trained in speaking, presenting, and all the rest of it, as well as doing the whole Toastmasters thing. I was a member of the Professional Speakers Association, and been there, done it, bought a t-shirt. Now, when you go to a Toastmasters club, you're sometimes at the mercy of the gods as to who you have in the club, as to the quality of the feedback you're getting. So, for example, when I first started out, there was a club that I used to attend in London, had the most amazing, absolutely amazing speakers. They've been speaking for years. The quality of the feedback and all that and encouragement was superb. But you can go to another club, which is kind of quite new and not that established, and literally everybody is a beginner because there are no tutors. Everybody learns from each other. So it's kind of up to, you know, the lap of the gods as to who you've got. Whereas in this online one I'm putting together, you've got, you know, been there, done it, spoken on stage professionally and being paid, you know, good money just to speak for half an hour. But also I've got the background in training and development, which is really going to, I think, add to the club. But also, here's the big thing. At a Toastmasters International Club, you are not allowed to self-promote in any shape or form. So you're not allowed to practice your elevator pitch, or you're not allowed to introduce the fact that you have a bit. You can say your name and you can say, I run a business, but you're not really allowed, you know, to say anything about it. I've seen people when they do their icebreaker, which is their introduction, I've seen them stopped if they've started talking about their business too much. It's like just not allowed. So I thought, well, let's do something where the whole purpose is to practice talking about your business. How cool would that be? So, yeah. So what I'm kind of aiming for this club is to, okay, so there may be people who, you know, just want to learn speaking skills, not necessarily to promote their business, which is fine. They can, you know, people can talk about what they want to, but the whole point really that I want to provide is a safe environment and a platform where people can practice. And it doesn't matter whether some people are like brand new to speaking, or people like Carolyn, who, you know, is pretty up there herself already, because we can always, you know, we can always learn, we can always get feedback, we can always improve. I remember once one of the Toastmasters clubs I went to, when I actually first joined, this is like way back in about 2002, and there was a guy who was like, you know, wow, he's good. And then I went to a Professional Speakers Association conference, and he was the MC, and it turned out he was a broadcaster as well. He was a TV broadcaster. So I went and chatted to him afterwards and said, pardon me asking, but like, you're awesome. Why do you need to go to Toastmasters? And he said, well, it's nice to have somewhere safe to practice my stuff, practice new material, get some feedback. And I thought, wow, if you've got a TV broadcaster and somebody who's good enough to be an MC for the PSA, you know, going to Toastmasters, then it doesn't matter what level you're at, complete beginner or up there, professional, it's a good place to practice your stuff and practice your pitch and all the rest of it. So I thought, in our little celebration tonight, we'd have a little bit of fun and we'd test it out. We'd give it a bit of a road test and a bit of a trial and see how we get on with it. So I'm just going to share my screen and kind of tell you what I'm planning. And because this is still in the planning stage, I'm open to suggestions. Let me just bring up my PowerPoint. Okay. So that's the one that I want. I've been working on a few different things today, so I want to make sure I've got the right one up. All right, so share screen. Alrighty, here we go. Can everybody see my screen okay? So, and now that I've done that, I can't see. Hang on, I'm just going to stop a minute and I'm going to make it smaller because I want to make sure that if anybody joins late, I can still welcome them to the party. Okay, let's move that out of the way over there. Okay. Oh, there we go. They're up there. That's annoying. I can't see my participants when I've got my screen shared. Oh well, I'll have to go. Okay, anybody joins late, you'll have to wait until the next bit when I can go and have a look at who the participants are to let you actually into the room. Okay, so let me just tell you then about my plans for this Speaking to Sell Club. So, as I've said, it's a safe place for you to practice and perfect your pitch, an opportunity to build confidence, learn additional speaking skills. So I've got a complete educational program that I've put together. Yes, you can reduce those ums. No, you don't need to totally eliminate them, but it's always good to practice getting rid of some of them. Gain fluency when speaking off the top of your head, because that's the bit that very often throws us. So even if you've, got like an elevator pitch challenge like I did last week, as soon as you're outside of that environment and the context and somebody says, oh, hi, what do you do? It's like, I'm not prepared for this. So it's about practicing being fluent when you've just got to think in the moment. And that's something that, they do really well in Toastmasters. And I'm going to nick that part of the process. You're also going to mix with like-minded entrepreneurs. We're all on that same journey. And we're going to have some fun as well, because learning doesn't have to be stuffy. We can have some fun as we go through. So the first thing that people fail sometimes to get their head around is that speaking is actually a skill and an art. Just because you can talk, you have, the ability to talk one-to-one to people doesn't mean that you can speak and present. And I know that Carolyn will certainly back me up on that one. It's something that has to be learned. That's why there are all these organizations such as Toastmasters, the PSA, the NSA, and the Global Speakers Federation, and so on and so forth. But they're all in the room organizations. As far as I'm aware, there is no online version so that people can attend from the comfort of their own office or home or backpack and laptop if they're on the move. Until now, this, as far as I know, is the first online speaking club. So I thought that would just be a really cool idea to celebrate getting to 500 members by launching the online club and giving you a free taster of how it might run. So this is how it's going to work. So when I kind of start the actual club proper, there's going to be no more than 20 members. Any more than 20 members, and it's just not going to be manageable in terms of people getting their speaking slot so that they can practice their pitch. If I get the demand and more than 20 people want to join, I'll probably put a few people onto a waiting list, and then when I get enough people, I'll split it into 2 clubs. And it probably makes sense to do 2 time zones, one for Britain, Spain, South Africa, and kind of Thailand, because I've got a few people in my group from the Thailand area, and then another one for our friends across the pond over in the US and Canada. So there's not going to be any more than 20 members in any one kind of club setting. What that means is that every single member can participate in for every single meeting. So there'll be a set agenda. So we'll start off with a warm-up just to get everybody into the swing of it. Then there will be 5 pre-prepared pitches of between 5 to 7 minutes. Now, okay, so your masterclass might be 45 minutes or more. And there's obviously no way that 20 members can all practice, you know, the entire pitch. But what you can do is you can practice parts of the pitch. And as long as you're able to practice parts of it, you can kind of, you know, and everybody, if there's only 20 members and we've got 5 every week, that means you get to do your pitch every single month. So that gradually you can do different parts of your pitch as we go through the program. But that's not the only opportunity to speak. What I'm going to do is get people evaluating those pitches, and you learn a lot, not only from watching other people's pitches, but you learn a lot from evaluating. You learn from watching other people do evaluations. I'm going to then do tutorials based on the educational program, and I've kind of got planned in my head an amazing program which is going to completely help with how to speak to sell. The big problem that people often have is they go one extreme or the other. They're either too full on, it's all sales pitch and it drives people away, or it's all education, they don't do enough of a selling pitch, and therefore they get disappointed when they put together an amazing presentation and nobody buys. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit of both. And I've got an amazing program to help you do that. Then we're going to have the fun free-for-all, which is like speaking off the cuff for 1 to 2 minutes each on random topics thrown at you. And then we're going to have meeting roles. So gradually we'll get people taking over as MC for the week. People doing evaluators, or I'll have somebody being an counter, somebody who's going to issue gold stars for fabulous expressions or great grammar, or, you know, amazing structure, that kind of thing, or amazing delivery. So we're going to have people looking out for gold, what I'm going to call gold star moments. And we can have some fun by having themed week. So, you know, like, I guess right now it can be that kind of, you know, back to school week. Then we can have things like, you know, Halloween week, Thanksgiving week, Christmas week, you know, all of that kind of stuff, you know, Valentine week, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of how it's going to work going forwards. So let's get started. Let's get into having a little bit of fun. Let's do a little bit of a warm-up. So I'm going to stop my sharing. And okay, we haven't got anybody waiting to come on right now. So basically what we're going to do with the warm-up is everybody's going to take it in turn to unmute themselves, and you can volunteer. I'm not going to pick who's going to go first. I'll just make sure that we don't and if anybody wants to pass right now, that's fine. I'm not going to force you to speak if you don't want to. But obviously, the more you get involved, the more you get out of the actual event. So the warm-up is quite simply, how's your week been? Share any wins that you've had with us. And how's your weekend shaping up? So who wants to go first? Oops, we got somebody in the chat. Oh, okay, Joy's having to leave at 7:30, group meeting until, and then you'll be back. All right, fine. Okay, so do you want to go first on the warm-up then, Joy, before you have to leave? Yeah. So how's your week? Share your wins with us, and how's your weekend shaping up?
My week's been fantastic because I've been leading up to this global summit, tele-summit, and it happened on Thursday, and it went very well. It was great. I really enjoyed it. It's the first time I've ever been on something like that, and I had, you know, I was panicking a little bit. Oh, I've got to put my notes out everywhere, you know. But we prepared, you know. I sent her some questions to ask me, and it was to do with my story first of all, and so on and so forth. And I ended up not looking at any of the papers because I just really got into it, and every time she asked me a question, it was just flowing out. So it was really great, and there was some processing that I did there as well. So a little process for the people to understand, you know, how to move out of struggle and into joy. So, you know, it was just a big immersion, and I'm celebrating that all the things that it led to, you know, like building the website and building the pages, and you know, and I've got people who have opted in for the freebie, and you know, it's just Great, having the ball.
Brilliant. Well done. Well done. And, you know, this is kind of really nice to see, because it wasn't that long ago when Joy had not even done so much as a Facebook Live. So, and she's gone, and she's absolutely blossomed, which is brilliant. Okay, so if you have to disappear, no worries, I'll look out for you to come back. If I'm in the middle of my tutorial, you might have to wait until we're back on again. Who wants to go next? Stick your hands up, who wants to go next? Go on, Fiona, I'll unmute you. Okay. So how's your week been? Share any wins, and how's your weekend shaping up?
Well, I haven't sort of had many wins, but I have had a couple of interviews for online jobs which have gone quite well, which is good.
Cool.
My website is getting better. Unfortunately, I still haven't had anyone actually want to have lessons from me, but we'll work on that one.
You will.
And I'm just starting to learn how to do emails from the website. I only started today, so I sort of haven't really got on that. But,
well,
you know,
your online journey is about to begin, and that's good. That's a win in itself. Okay,
yes.
just to let you know, everybody, you're going to get your chance to do your elevator pitches as well. So in this section, there's no need to say too much about what you do. But yeah, well done, Fiona. That's cool. And
Okay.
we need to sort out as well, I don't know why, but for some reason, Fiona cannot subscribe to any of my stuff. It just always fails. Everybody else gets through, no problem, but it doesn't matter whether it's the freebie, whether it's the joining this party or whatever. I'm guessing, I guess if we speak very nicely to Blake or Robert, they might be able to help us. It's probably a cookie or a cache problem or something like that.
And it's most peculiar, because I seem to be able to do most other things that I try to connect with, but just not to you. There's something,
it's weird. It's weird. Weird. Somebody's trying to drive a wedge between us. Never mind. There are always ways around it, aren't there? Okay. Thank you, Fiona. Well done. Big round of applause. Yay! Okay, who wants to go next? Well done, Blake. Okay, I'll unmute. All righty, you're unmuted. Off you go. Can't hear you, Blake. No, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. No. No, we can't hear you. You're silent. And while we're waiting for Blake to sort his audio out, I think we should sing happy birthday to him, because it's Blake's birthday today. Yay! So should we all unmute and should we sing? Go on, all unmute. Let's sing to Blake. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Blake.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, that's so funny. We were all different timing. Oh, he's got no sound. I don't know what's happening there. All right, never mind. We'll have somebody else. Carolyn, do you want to go next?
Yeah.
Go on then. Tell us about your week, your wins, and how's your weekend shaping up?
My week has been amazing. My main win this week was working with one of my potential partners in business who is going to help me develop systems and processes for my clients. So that went well. And I reached out to 2 people. They're all very interested. I'm already working with one, which is amazing. My weekend is shaping up. A friend of mine, an entrepreneur who has been really great at connecting people, is in town. And before this meeting, I was busy pulling together everybody so we can have dinner on Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yay! Brilliant, brilliant. Well done. That sounds fantastic. Okay, so Blake's he's logged off. He's gonna try and come back in. So, Rachel, do you want to go? Do you want to say how your week's been?
Oh, well, my glass is nearly finished. But my husband he did give me the bottle.
I like that. I like that. That's what you call coming to a party.
So, but yeah, I was working today. I was taking people around the beauty of the Rhine, and so I'm feeling a little bit tired now. So this weekend, I just want to get on and do some stuff that I've been trying to do for the last few weeks. I want to get that done. So that's how my weekend is shaping up. But I still have to mow the lawn.
Oh, right. Okay. Thank you. Woo! All right. And last but not least, unless Blake comes back in, Robert, how are you doing? Go on, I've unmuted you.
There we go. I'm okay. Yeah, Blake, hurry up.
How's your week?
My week has been great. Decent little wins throughout the week. Nothing major to really be like, this was an awesome major win. And as far as the weekend goes, the weather is actually, minus the hurricane 400 miles away, that's supposed to come up right over us. The weather's really nice. So I'm going to go outside and play because the bugs aren't out now because the temperatures dropped down.
It's
so
always good when the bugs are not there.
yes.
But the weekend is starting off with a bit of a high in what? And
We're
2.5 hours from now.
2.5 hours. We're marrying our two groups together and creating one.
We are having a big wedding. We are joining our two Facebook groups together. Not the Speaking Secrets group, but my client attraction for coaches group is getting married to Marketing to Millennials. So that's going to kick off a celebration as well. So if anyone's still free later on in 2.5 hours from now, come join us for that party as well.
Because that will be amazing and fun, and we look forward to giving you guys some really good stuff in that new
Blake
group.
needs to be put back on the panel. Thank you, Blake. All righty. Oh, and Marion's here as well. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Welcome back, Blake. Let's see if we can hear you now. And welcome, Marion.
Oh.
Yeah, we kind of got, it's not very loud.
Well, I'm not a very loud person.
At least we can hear you. So how's your week been? And how's your day been?
It's been pretty good. Today's been sort of lackluster, but the rest of the week's been great. Haven't had any problems. Haven't had any wins. Just sort of working on projects and getting stuff done.
And how's your weekend shaping up?
Fantastic. I'm going to go out for sushi tomorrow night for my birthday.
Lovely.
And probably going to watch a movie tonight. It's going to be fun.
Lovely. All right, cool, fantastic. And last but not least, Marion. Hey, Marion, how are you? Do you want to come on and just let us know how your week's been, share your wins, and how your weekend is shaping up?
Thank you. My week was amazing. I did my first live webinar on Tuesday night.
Yay!
Well, actually, no, it was Monday night. I did it. Yeah. And I'm afraid I'm having a working weekend because I've got to finish the course, the online course that I was promoting. And that starts in about 10 days' time. So I've got some work to do there.
Brilliant. Congratulations. And Marion is another lady from Cape Town. So Marion and Carolyn, you're not too far away from each other, I shouldn't think. So at least in the same town. You know, I don't know how big Cape Town is, so you might be miles away from each other. But all right, cool. So thank you everybody for taking part in the warm up. Just a little bit relaxed, just to get everybody into the swing of it. In future, we'll probably, you know, certainly, you know, if we've got like lots of members, the warm-up will be needed to be restricted to something like 30 seconds, and then as more people join, maybe even down to 15 seconds. I've certainly seen warm-ups in the past in clubs where I've been a member of, which of, you know, you get 10 seconds and then that's it, but that's all good practice. So what would normally happen now in the grand scheme of the club is that the MC would take over and introduce the 5 speakers who have got prepared speeches and pitches to share with us. So as this is the party which kind of kicks things off and explains what we're up to, we obviously don't have pre-prepared pitches. So I thought this would just be a really good opportunity for you to share your intromercials. So tell everybody else about what you do. Now, I'm not going to hold you to 1 minute, but try not to go over 2 minutes. So again, we'll just take it in turns. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around everybody in terms of the order that you appear on my screen. Actually, it might be worthwhile as well, before I do that, I tell you how my week went. I've had an amazing week. I've had a huge win. I have been trying to do my, what they call the soap opera sequence on my follow-up emails for my Speaking with Confidence freebie. And for anybody who doesn't know the soap opera sequence, it's basically a follow-up sequence where you drag people from one email into the next, into the next, and into the next. And I've been trying to do this for about 6 weeks. And Tuesday, I couldn't do it. And then Wednesday, I watched a video. It was actually a training course that I got from Arnie, and it made it so simple. And I just wrote all my emails in one day like that. So, I'm really happy with them. So that was my big win. And my weekend is shaping up. I happen to get, my group is getting married tonight. And then I'm having a bit of a working weekend as well. But I always make time for the beach on the weekend. So that's my weekend. All right, so Fiona, are you ready to do your intromercial? Tell us more about what you do. And you've had a bit of practice with this because you did the elevator pitch challenge. So, right, I'm going to unmute you. So fire away.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay. It's almost impossible in virtually every country for those who don't speak English to get into university, get a degree, and get a well-paying job. I teach English to people all over the world so they can pass the English exams they need to access the course they want, enabling their future success. I started teaching Sylvia in September 2015. With my help, in under 2 years, she passed all the exams and more that are necessary to get into and graduate from her chosen university. And she's now, at the age of 17, about to start. She's even writing a science fiction novel in English. I'm Fiona Crawford, and if you want or need to pass a Cambridge English exam for any reason, send an email, contact me, press the button, or whatever.
Brilliant!
Thank
you. Well done. That was superb. Thank you, Fiona. Okay. All right. Now, the other thing that we're going to be doing in time, obviously, is going to be evaluating the pitches that people do. But I'm not going to put you on the spot there. But one of the things that would be really encouraging is for people to type in the chat messages of encouragement, maybe even like just one little suggestion for improvement that you think would make it even better. But well done, that was fantastic. All righty, Carolyn, do you want to? You're next along from me. Do you want to go next? You ready? Okay, I've unmuted you.
Systems and processes are the essential building blocks for growth and success in any business. 80% of businesses fail within the first 2 years due to poor systems and processes. I help entrepreneurs at the startup, scale up, or exit phases of their businesses implement tailored systems that will minimize losses and maximize profits. With the correct business systems in place, my clients wow their customers, improve their brand credibility, and grow their profit margins above the 20% normal rate. Do you want to grow your business successfully with less hassle? My name is Caroline Opinion. Email me at hello@caoconsultingpartners.com.
Yay! I love it. Brilliant. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. Alrighty. Who's next? Robert. You're next on my little screen. I'm going to unmute you. I can't hear you. Your thingy's turned off.
I have two mute buttons. I have to be careful. I'm liable to be unmuted at any time. So I want you guys to think about this for just a moment and visualize this beautiful rainbow. And it fills the sky, and you're walking through, you crest the top of a hill, and you see this big pot of gold, right? And we're talking a big pot of gold, $2 trillion. The only thing standing between you and that pot of gold is a communication issue. And it's not a language barrier, it's the way you communicate. With my help, a local contractor turned $11 worth of ad spend into over $6,000 in services and sales. Here's Robert Martin, and I help small businesses create an online presence that's all about communication so they can access the $200 billion people aged 17 to 37 will spend this year.
Well done, well done, well done, well done. That was painting a beautiful picture, wasn't it? Like it, like it, like it. All right, who's next? Rachel, you're next in my little grid.
Oh dear, I haven't done any of this.
No, I have to say, Rachel and Marion, you two are a little bit of a disadvantage because the others took part in the elevator pitch challenge last week. So don't worry if you haven't got it as, but just tell us what you do. Tell us about your business.
Okay, well, I'm an antique who deals with antiques, and I teach antique owners or shop owners how to communicate with their customers to improve their sales. So I have a website called rachelsantiqueemporium.com, and I am Rachel herself, and I'm here to take you further.
Brilliant. And being put on the spot like that, that was absolutely ace. Now, that's something
weird now.
Don't worry, that's something that we're going to work with over the next couple of times we speak. At the moment, I'm helping Rachel put an online course together because she's got special skills. Not only is Rachel amazing at antiques and very knowledgeable about antiques, but she's also a communication expert and particularly body language expert. So what she's aiming to do is help all those antique people to use their communication and body language to really nab a bargain when buying and then get the best possible price when selling. So that's what she's all about. So we're putting together all her online stuff at the moment to do that. Okay, cool. Blake, you're next in my little grid. So over to you. I've unmuted you. Okay.
Hey, I'm muted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you need to speak up a bit. Your audio is very quiet.
How about now?
That's better. That's better.
Okay. All right. Logo designs were believed to have started in the 13th century when ancient Egyptians branded domestic animals with hieroglyphs to mark their ownership. These designs had to be immediately recognizable, and adding color to that design increased recognition by up to 80%. Picking the right design with the right colors can be the difference between getting new clients and blending into the background. I worked with a local pizzeria that didn't have a website and not much of a brand. They strictly used Facebook and Instagram. And I created an amazing site that showcased their brick fire ovens and organic ingredients for their pizzas. And I increased their traffic from literally 0 visitors to almost 11,000 unique visitors. My name's Blake Singleton, and I work for Purple Tie Guys. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you can click the button below.
Yay! Well done. Well done, well done, well done.
And that
Oh, go on.
that's all thanks to Tina. That's what you really need the before and after video for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. I'm going to get those and I'm going to get them put up. So thank you. In fact, you can see the difference. Most people's elevator pitches and infomercials are not like this. Most of them are just, hey, I'm Joe, I'm a plumber, we fix taps, you know. But when you got a lovely crafted pitch, doesn't it make a difference?
It definitely puts me more at ease whenever I'm not a salesperson, you know, I'm just a designer, but I still have to know how to sell the company whenever I'm in front of someone. So that really puts me at ease knowing that I've got the information there beforehand.
Yeah.
Instead of just trying to come up with it off the top of my head.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it's all about. It's just having it practiced and rehearsed so you know what you're going to say so that you're not caught unawares. All right, brilliant. Thank you. Okay, last but not least, Marion. Okay, at least you've had a little bit of time to have some thoughts about what you're going to say, so take it away.
Are you tired of struggling to get what you want? Or tired of being stuck in a job or a relationship or in a financial pitch that's killing your soul? I've been in all of those, and I can help, and I know the way out, and I can show it to you. As a personal change coach, I can help you create the change that you need with confidence and ease. You can have the life that you want.
Yeah. Well done. That was brilliant. And again, you can see now, you know, again, Marion has been kind of working. We did a kind of webinar way back in, I don't know, February, wasn't it? And you can again tell the difference because when you look at what you do, there are so many people out there. They're very similar to, as well, say, kind of thing that Joy does. Basically, you've got the whole kind of life coaching, making a change, that kind of thing. Number one, it's a real saturated market. Number two, most struggle with how to articulate what it is that they do. So if you're able to articulate what you do against the rest of them, you're going to stand out. You're going to be way ahead of the rest of the competition by having that ability. And that's why speaking is such an important part of your overall marketing strategy. It really, really is. It goes hand in hand with marketing. I think a lot of people kind of, when they first saw what I was about, because the name I gave the group and everything, people think that it's initially that speaking is just speaking on stage, but it's not. It's these situations where you're just in front of somebody, like Blake was the other day when he was in the lift and somebody went, and he saw the name on the t-shirt. So what do you do then? Well, we do marketing and design. And now look what he's got. Which is absolutely ace. Alrighty, so first of all, any questions? Just unmute yourself if you've got a question, or if you want to make a little comment on the pictures that you heard so far. Anything that you particularly liked, anything you thought, oh my god, that was beautiful, or I didn't understand that bit, or whatever. Please just unmute yourself and ask a question, or any questions generally about elevator pitches and infomercials. No, none? Okay, I shall move on then. And just to make it clear for anybody who's watching, in case you don't know the difference between an elevator pitch and an infomercial. An elevator pitch is that answer to the question, what do you do? You're in a conversation. So it's not like a presentation. It's part of a conversation. So you're either at networking and you've done the introductions. Oh, hi, I'm Joe. Hello, yeah, I'm Tina. Oh, nice to meet you, Tina. What do you do? And you just answer the question. It needs to be quite short, succinct, and it's kind of impossible to put everything that you do into an answer that's going to be comfortable to have that conversation. But what you want to do is make it compelling enough that they go, oh, that's interesting. You know, how do you do that then? Tell me more. And then you get into the opportunity of explaining more about what you do. The intromercial is a different animal altogether. That's where you've got the opportunity, like you've had tonight, to just go for it for a minute. Then it's a presentation. Okay, then it's the kind of networking thing you go to. You know, where you've all been, I'm sure you've all been to these breakfasts like BNI, or you go to Chamber of Commerce lunches, and they give you a minute and everybody takes it in turns to go around the table and say what they do. That needs to be a presentation where you do the whole picture the rainbow thing, you know, and that's where you pull out fascinating facts, like, you know, who knew where logo design came from? You know, that's just so interesting. And what that does is it grabs people's attention because it's different, it's new. It's not just the, you know, hi, you know, I'm Fred, I'm an electrician, and we take care of all your wiring in your house, and we, you know, which is like watching paint dry. And, you know, you kind of just think, oh God, can this part of the meeting be over, please? So that's the difference between the elevator pitch and the intramural. All right, so I want to move on to a little tutorial now. So I'm just going to share my screen again. So once again, if anybody hops on, I'm just going to type in the chat here, anyone hopping on, you will be added after the tutorial. Okay, so they know. All right, so I'm going to share my screen and get back to the presentation. Okay, so what we're going to be covering over the coming weeks in the club is that, for me, there's, first of all, there are 4 main places that you're going to speak. So you've got in the real world, which is like on stage and in meetings, and then in the virtual world, which is like through webinars and videos. And then you've kind of got all the hybrid stuff like this, which is kind of like an online meeting, if you like. It's more of a meeting than it is a webinar, but it's obviously virtual rather than in the actual room. And there are 4 key cornerstones that you need to have under your belt when it comes to delivering. First of all, you've got to have confidence. So raise your hand if you'd like more confidence. Yay! Then obviously you need to know how to put the content together. Then you have to be able to deliver it with that charisma that everybody talks about. And then what you want to be able to do is, doesn't matter where your starting point, whether you're total beginner or already pretty good, to be able to continuously improve and get better and better and polished and refined and all the rest of it. And at the heart of it all is selling. Now, I don't care if you are not in sales, you don't have your own company, and you might work for an organization but not in a sales department. You might not even work at all. You might be retired, or, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter. You sell every single day. Okay. If you're working for a charity, for example, and you do fundraisers, you're selling the cause, you're selling the idea. If you're at home with your family and you want to watch a particular TV program, you're selling. If when you're deciding where to go on holiday or vacation, you're selling. So getting good at presenting and selling an idea is something which is really, really important. So that's at the heart, to me, of all good presentations, is the ability to convey a message, an idea. You might be, for example, giving a motivational talk where you're not actually selling a product, but you're selling the idea for somebody to better themselves. And the great thing is that everybody has these tremendous messages. I've said this before and I will say it over and over again. You all have unique gifts and talents to share with the world. And you never know who's watching you. You might be just doing a casual Facebook Live, but somebody might see that, and what they say, what you say, the message that they pick up from what you say, can change their lives. You know, it can save a marriage. It can save a relationship. It can, you know, turn somebody's job around. It can save somebody's business. It could even save a life. You know, you just don't know when what you're going to say is going to make a massive difference to somebody. And it's all about persuasion. It's all about selling your ideas to people, regardless of whether or not you're selling products. So that's kind of really where we're going to be, you know, these are the things that we're going to be working and covering over the course of the next kind of few weeks and months. Okay, so the first thing is confidence. So I thought we would start with this. And I've got this little phrase that I call banishing the butterflies, because you know what it's like. You've got that kind of situation, you're about to give a talk and you've got that horrible feeling going on in the pit of your stomach, like there's a million butterflies flying around in there. So what we want to do is learn how to banish the butterflies. So I'm just going to give a little tutorial on how to do that. So first of all, what would be really useful is for you to write down where you're at right now with your confidence on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 feeling extremely bad and 10 feeling extremely good. Write down where you are with your confidence with speaking right now. And you can either write that down for your own reference, or if you want to type it in the chat so I can see, that would be pretty cool. If you only want me to see it and you don't want to share that information with everybody else, you can send it to me privately. But put down what your number is. Okay, so hey Jeff, how are you? I will add you so you can come and join the room with the rest of us as soon as I finish the tutorial. So Jeff's a 9, that's pretty cool. Blake's between 3 and 4. Any other numbers that you feel like sharing with us as to where you're at? Yeah, absolutely, Fiona. It does depend. You're quite right. It depends on where you have to speak. You'll find that in some situations, you know, you might be an 8 or 9, and then in a different situation, that might be completely alien to you, and then you might drop to a 5 or a 6, or even a 1 or a 2. Okay, so we got 3 and 4, we got a 7 and 8. So we got a mixed range of numbers. But what I'm going to teach you today depends on where you're at, and doesn't matter which situation you're in. Let's give you some even greater confidence. So, okay, what about 7? Fantastic, we've got some good numbers there. First thing that's interesting is, why are we afraid in the first place? Why is speaking listed as the #1 fear in the world? Because in loads of the surveys, certainly in the US, it's the poll there put speaking at #1, and I forget what #2 was, but the fear of death was #3. In the UK, the fear of speaking is #2. The fear of dying is still below it. And #1, see if you can guess what the #1 fear in the UK is. Type it in the chat box if you have any idea what the #1 fear is in the UK. And I'm going to give you a hint. It's crazy when you compare other Americans. No, we're not that afraid of you guys. No, not flying sharks, not heights, although that's a good one. No, not presenting. The #1 fear in the UK is the fear of spiders. Can you believe that? And when you think that in all of the other countries in the world, spiders are way more harmful and poisonous than in the UK, the #1 fear in all the polls, and I can vouch for that. I'm more afraid of spiders than I am of speaking. But speaking is up there. It's either #1 or #2, you know, in most polls right around the globe. The reason for that, again, I'm not going to go into this massively because it's quite a long, and actually, yeah, now I'm fine because I speak for a living, but I didn't always feel that way. And I'll share, when I first had to speak, I was terrified. I haven't always been confident like this. When I first had to do it for my job, many moons ago now, we're talking kind of early mid-80s. Oh God, that's scary. 25 years ago? Really? Was it that long? I was terrified. Literally, I would go red and blotchy. I couldn't wear, you know, a thing with a V-neck because my face and my chest would go red and blotchy. I would shake. I would feel sick. It was horrendous. I think back then I was probably just as afraid of speaking as I was of spiders, because I've always been literally terrified of them as well. But the fear, it's common because, first of all, it's historical. For centuries, people have been afraid of it, and we've kind of been programmed that it's something to be afraid of. Also, you've got dynamics. So if you can imagine, most speaking in the past has been done on a stage where you're facing one way and everybody else is facing you. So you've got everybody looking at you for a start. So there's that thing about being judged. There's also that thing about they're all together and you're here on your own, and it's like their army's bigger than mine. So there's like the whole numbers thing going on. You've got the whole thing of being looked at, the whole thing of being judged. You've also got the fact that ever since we were tiny, we were told that nice little boys and girls were seen and not heard. And we had our voices suppressed as we were growing up. It's probably different these days. I think people are encouraged much more these days, thankfully. But for a lot of us, where we're of that kind of generation where it was, little girls and little boys should be seen and not heard. And it was, we were always told, sit down, shut up, sit down, be quiet, and all that kind of stuff. And we were also told that, to kind of be on stage, be in the limelight is being a show-off. And nobody likes a show-off. So we kind of had this negative association with being in the limelight, and that it's like, no, people are not going to like me, because who am I to be standing here strutting my stuff, and all that kind of thing. Nobody likes to show off, and it was seen as confidence was mixed up with arrogance and all that kind of stuff. So there's loads of reasons. So the first thing is, anybody who does feel afraid, it's not your fault. You're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You are not alone. You don't need fixing. It's actually a normal thing, and most people, as the polls suggest, have it and need to overcome it at some point. Okay, so why do we need to overcome it? Well, just think what you can achieve if you are great at speaking, and particularly if you can convey your business message and all of that kind of thing. Just imagine the opportunities that are going to open up to you. So just think for a moment how much easier it would be to deliver your business message, to get clients and get people on board if you were really confident and really competent at speaking. Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it? Let me tell you some things that don't work. Oh my God. In some of these Facebook groups, you go in and you see people giving all sorts of advice. Somebody says, hey, I'm really nervous at speaking. And all these people jump on and they say, imagine your audience are sitting on the toilet, or imagine your audience is naked. Well, I can't think of anything worse. I can't think of anything that's going to send me running for the hills more than trying to picture my audience either naked or sitting on the toilet. That is going to stop me in my tracks, because it's not an image that I want to be focusing on. I'm either going to be horrified or start laughing, and neither of which I want to do. So there is some terrible advice out there. Other advice that's not great, just do it. Now, just doing it, yes, you're going to gradually start getting more confident, kind of. But if you have a bad experience, it's going to send your confidence in the other direction. And doing it with the right tuition is going to help so much more. It's a bit like, let's say you've never ridden a horse before, and I just say, yeah, get on, and I'm going to smack it on the backside, and off you go. You can go and have a nice little gallop across the moors. What's likely to happen? You're likely to fall off, you're likely to hurt yourself, and you're not likely to be encouraged to want to do it again. And it's a bit like that with speaking. Speaking is skill, and if you have a bad experience, it can put you off. Okay, so speaking in front of a mirror, that's not a good idea either. If you want to watch yourself back, just record yourself and then watch yourself back. But we're also very highly critical of ourselves. So unless you're taught how to self-evaluate, that can put you off as well. All right, so there's loads of stuff that doesn't work. So I'm going to tell you instead what does work. Now, there are loads of things for me to share with you, and I don't have time to go into them all tonight. So that's going to be something that we're going to be covering in the club going forwards. But I'm going to give you some nice little 3 secrets to immediate confidence tonight that you can put into play. Now, some of you who've done personal development and life coaching it will not be the first time that you've come across this, but it may be the first time that you've thought of this in the context of speaking. So the confidence that you need to think about is your focus, your language, and your physiology. So we need to break the pattern that stops you from being afraid in the first place. So the first thing is, as soon as you catch yourself doing and saying all the things that go, oh my God, speaking, I hate it, it's horrible, I'd rather have an asteroid hit the building, I'd rather have my teeth pulled out. You've got to stop that. Okay, and literally, if you just have to shout, stop it yourself, and then find something to do instead. And this is what you're going to do instead, okay? Because the first thing is your focus. Now, if you focus on everything that's going to go wrong, okay, so I'm going to forget my words, I'm going to fall over, the PowerPoint's going to break down, this is going to fail, that's going to fail, they're going to laugh at me, they're not going to laugh at my jokes, I'm going to fall over, I'm going to freak out. If you focus on that, guess what? You ain't going to feel very confident. All right, so what you have to do instead is, for start, most of that's not going to happen. And even if it does, you'll handle it. Oh my goodness, I can tell you, so many things have gone wrong and I'm still here to tell the tale. I lived through them, It's not life-threatening, all right? So stop being afraid of what could go wrong and focus on what can go right. So focus on the message. Now, the big key here as well is most people who are scared are focusing on themselves. They're focusing on their own performance, what people are going to think of me, how people are going to judge me, and all of that kind of stuff. Instead, focus on the audience. Focus on the amazing gift that you have to give them. Focus on the message. Focus on how what you are going to say could potentially change their lives. If you focus on the audience instead of you, for a start, that's going to make you feel so much better. And let's get real. It's not all about you. It is about the audience. The whole purpose of you being there and speaking to them is to give value to them. And if you focus on the value that you're giving to them, you're going to feel so much better to start with. So focus on the impact. Focus on the gift that you're giving them. Focus on the round of applause they're going to give you at the end. Focus on the lovely words they're going to say to you afterwards and the feedback that you're going to get. If you focus on all of those good things, then you're going to start feeling an awful lot more confident. Blake saying, yeah, recording yourself is so valuable. I rewatched my pitch videos and realized I was saying things that I didn't even remember saying. That's a really, really good point. And that's something that's going to help you to improve as you go along. But start focusing on what can go right. And here's the great thing about it. When you focus on the good gets even better because it's a kind of virtuous circle. If you focus on all the wrong things, your confidence is going to go down. So you're going to do worse next time and it's going to go downwards. If you focus on all the good stuff, it's going to go much better. You're going to feel better. You're going to give a much better performance, and therefore you're going to enjoy it more. And so it's going to just keep getting better and better and better. So that's the first secret, is to just focus on everything going well. Now, the next thing to focus on is your language, okay? So words can hurt, so choose them wisely. Now, the biggest thing here that people do is using extreme language, okay? So they use language which is going to make you feel afraid. So I want you to participate here and play along, all right? So I want you to just say to yourself, oh my God, I feel terrified. I am petrified right now. Try telling yourself, oh my God, I feel gutted. And notice what happens in your body when you say these words. So focus on feeling petrified. And as soon as this is the thing, the brain is made up of all these little synapses and things that fire off. And when you say the word petrified, your brain knows that the word petrified is associated with danger. So it puts you in flight and fight mode. And it starts sending chemicals through your body to deal with that. So you're going to start having your heart rate go faster. You're going to start having, you know, the blood pumping around your body. So then your mind goes blank, and there's all these other things which are going on. All right. So by using that extreme language, that's what you're doing to yourself. So shake that off and just say, yeah, I'm calm, I'm good, I'm relaxed. That's all fine. Okay. Now, if you were in a field with a tiger that hadn't been fed for a month and he was eyeing you up as your next lunch, then I give you permission to feel terrified or petrified, because your body is going to need that surplus energy to do a runner. Okay, so that's appropriate. But when you're just giving a talk or a presentation, it's not appropriate. Your life is not in danger. But here's the thing that other speaker trainers tell you what to do. They tell you to completely use the opposite language. They tell you to say to yourself, I'm brilliantly confident, I'm super dynamic, I'm unstoppable, I'm amazing, I feel brilliant. But there's a problem with that, and it's the little voice, the gremlin that sits on your shoulder and shouts in your ear. And the more you say, I feel supremely confident, the louder the gremlin shouts, bollocks, rubbish, no, you're not. And you don't, do you believe it? When you feel your natural thing is to feel afraid, and you say, I feel brilliant, you just don't believe it, do you? For a small percentage of people, that technique can work. For the most people, you have this overwhelming rubbish, 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 don't believe it. So it doesn't work. Here's what to do instead. Just modify your language. All right, you're in a situation where it's normal to be afraid. We've already established that. But it's not appropriate to feel terrified or petrified. So what if you just said, yeah, I am feeling a bit nervous. I'm in a situation which I'm not comfortable with. It's new, it's alien. I'm being judged. And you are, you know, let's face it, you are. So yeah, I feel a little bit uneasy, but it's going to be okay because I can do this. Now, is that believable? Absolutely. Okay, so all you got to do is ban the extreme language. But now when you say to yourself, yeah, I'm a bit nervous. Yeah, I'm a bit kind of, you know, uncomfortable with this. I'm a bit apprehensive, but you know what? I can do this and it's all going to be okay. How do you feel compared to when you were using the, oh my God, I'm terrified? Very different. And then you're going to do a good job. So next time you're going to go, hey, it went well last time. So now you can say, yeah, I've got this. I'm okay with this. You don't have to say I'm supremely confident, but just start losing the anxious words. Just say, yeah, I'm good. Just be neutral. That's fine. And then gradually you go, yeah, that went well. So next time you can go, I like this. I'm good at this. I can do this. I'm quite confident. And now you start believing it. And gradually you just move yourself up that spectrum until you get to the point, hell yeah, bring it on. You know, that's what I did. Gradually I got there. Okay. The other thing is the language is just the label we put on it. That's all it is. It's a label, right? What tells you you're afraid? Type in the chat for me the symptoms that you get when you're afraid. So just type everything physically that's going on in your body. Yeah, your brain kind of goes all fuzzy. Yeah, you can start sweating. What are the other symptoms? Yeah, you can actually get cold, so you can get cold sweats as well. What else? Yeah, shaking. Yeah, oh, we got shaking is a good one. We've got lots of shaking going on. What else happens? Dry mouth, absolutely. Yeah, so you got the idea. Yeah, your tummy starts feeling a bit sick. Yeah, you can start hyperventilating. All of that stuff, your mind goes blank. It's adrenaline. That's what's happening. Your brain is sending you adrenaline. Okay, so now I want you to think of a time, yeah, when you get those symptoms, but you love it, all right? Think of something like a roller coaster, yeah? Do you get those symptoms when you go on a roller coaster? And you come off and you go, oh my God, I was terrified, but that was bloody brilliant. or going down a black run on a ski slope, or going to the, or okay, so you might hate them, but there's bound to be something that you do in life that gives you a thrill. Yeah, it kind of scares you, but you love it. For a lot of people, they get that to that state when speaking. But if you can think, yeah, exactly, Fiona, jumping on the horse, galloping, going flat out across the sand. It's, you know, being on a motorcycle, you know, driving fast in your car, surfing, whatever it is, most of us can relate to something that gives you a thrill. It scares you a bit, but you love it. All right? All it is excitement. It's the same thing. It's adrenaline. But because we're in a different situation, we label it differently. In that situation, we label it fear. In this situation, we label it excitement. So what if, instead of saying I'm petrified, say, yeah, I'm a bit anxious, but you know what? I'm really excited. And it makes such a difference. For me, it's flying. And I actually did this when I was about 15. I'd never heard of NLP back then. I'd never heard of personal development. All I knew was that I wanted to travel. And yeah, I was 15 around the time where all those aeroplane, you know, crash movies were on TV and in the movies and all that kind of thing. But I was determined I wasn't going to have a fear of flying. And the first time my mum took me on a plane to go and we were in Wales and we were going to visit Scotland. My parents had separated and she was taking me up to visit my dad. And as we were getting towards the airport, I started to feeling all these feelings in my tummy. And I started thinking of all these air disaster movies. And I went, no, I'm not going to be scared. I'm not going to be scared. And I remembered that I actually was a bit of a roller coaster freak. So I just went, yeah, it's just be like on a roller coaster. It's just like a roller coaster. It's just like a roller coaster. I'm excited. I'm excited. And that's what I told myself. And as we were on the runway and like, you know, I'm sitting there and like, I'm getting that feeling of clutching the, you know, the armrests. And I'm going, I'm excited. This is exciting. Oh my God, this is cool. This is really exciting. And to this day, I still have those feelings when the airplane is about to take off. And it's a fine line between fear and excitement, but I choose to say I'm excited and I love it. And it's thrilling. I'm always quite happy when we're back on firm ground again, I have to say. But I love it. So I'm determined I'm not going to be afraid of it. Yeah, and that, so language is everything. It can really change how you feel about it. Okay, so moving on to the next thing. The next thing then is your physiology. Now, here's the thing. I want you to, and I want you to do this little experiment with me. So, right, so I want you to stand up, and I want you. Now, this is funny because my head's going to be chopped off now. But I want you to stand up. Do this with me. And stand in a way where you're going to be feeling terrified. Generally, when we're scared of speaking, you stand in a way where you stand to attention, so your feet are too far together, your feet are too close together. You want to give yourself a bit of a hug. You won't actually do this, but what happens is you roll your shoulders forward and you end up with your kind of leaning forward very slightly. So even when you put your hands down like that, you're still crunched a little bit in the middle. You've probably got an expression on your face like these guys here. And even the guy at the bottom, although he's smiling, you can see he's not happy. So you might be tense, you might be, you know, and it's not a good feeling. Now, let's compound this. Let's add in the physiology as well as the language and the focus. So you're focusing on everything that can go wrong, and you're also telling yourself, oh my God, this is terrible, I'm terrified, I'm petrified, I think I'm going to die. Now, without changing anything, try and force yourself to feel supremely confident. Try and do it through sheer willpower without changing anything. Can you do it? And I'm going to say, I'm pretty certain you can't. So shake that off, because that's not a good feeling to have. It really is not a good feeling to have. So shake that off, okay, and be relaxed. Now, what we're going to do now instead is have a posture which is really more assertive, confident, and all the rest of it. Now, a good one is where you've got your feet just below your hips, okay? So not too far apart, but just nice and comfortable. And that your weight is evenly grounded on both of them, okay? So you're not like on one side or the other, but your weight is nice and even. Your knees are soft, not locked, and you feel grounded, okay? Now, this is the big thing, guys. You've got to put your shoulders back and down, because that will open up your diaphragm, and I'm going to explain what that is does for you in a moment. So take a nice deep breath, smile, yeah? Now think of the happiest day of your life. It could be your wedding day. It could be a divorce day. It could be any other day, a time when you felt supremely confident. It could be when you won the first rosette when you were on the horse. It could be, you know, a time when you felt brilliant. And we're going to borrow that and bring it in here right now. And now focus on everything that can go right and say positive language. Just go, yeah, brilliant, fantastic. And now, without changing anything, notice how good you feel. And without changing anything, without changing your facial expression. So keep smiling. You've got to keep smiling. So without changing your facial expression, without changing your physiology, without changing your focus and your language, try and force yourself to feel as crap as you did the first time. Doesn't work, does it? Now, I'm not going to get you to shake that one off because it's a nice feeling. But what I want you to do now is practice this. And I've jumped ahead a bit of my slides. So what I'm going to do is very quickly, now that you've got all three together and feeling good, we're going to do something called anchoring. So take all that good feeling, and what you're going to do now is magnify it. So turn it up, turn the volume up. Make it completely envelope you, hug, like a big hug. So this good feeling is like a great big hug. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get you to recall it in an instant. Now, for some people, it's fiddling with a ring on their finger. For some people, it's like putting their first and their thumb and their middle finger together. For some people, all it needs you to do is stand up and into your circle of excellence. For some people, it's just the word go. Okay? And you can bring that feeling whenever you want to. Okay, and take that feeling with you as you sit down and resume where you were. Because this is such a good exercise, guys, for making you feel good in the moment. Now, those of you who've done personal development or life coaching, I'm sure this isn't new to you, but it might not have occurred to you to do it in the context of speaking. And the thing is, you have to practice it so that you can bring it when you need it. And then if you're suddenly put on the moment, all you've got to do is think anchor. And it's like watching a movie, you know. If I ask you right now to think of a movie like one of your favourite weepy movies, like, I don't know, Ghost, or Top Gun, you know, the bit where, you know, somebody dies in the movie. Or, like, for me, it was the first time I ever saw Jungle Book and I thought Baloo was dead. I bet you if you focus on that moment in the movie, you could almost bring yourself to tears right now. Think about a horror movie. And if you just picture yourself walking down the street, it's dark, and you're aware of steps behind you, I bet you can start to feel afraid in the moment right now. So all it takes is practice. You can change your mood, you can change how you feel, and this is one little tip to help you change how you feel when you're about to speak. All right, so let's practice the anchor. Practice, and you can do this sitting down. You can have good physiology sitting down. The key is to put your shoulders back and down. The shoulders back and down, by the way, opens up the diaphragm. When you're forward, it closes off the diaphragm, stops the oxygen getting around the body. That's what causes the sickness, the shaking, the mind going blank, and a lot of the other nasty symptoms. When you've got your shoulders back and down, your diaphragm is open, you can breathe properly, you can get the oxygen in, and it stops all those nasty side effects. So just by changing your physiology can make a massive difference to how you feel. So focus on the right physiology. Focus on that real feeling of a time when you were absolutely unstoppable, on top of the world. Doesn't have to be a speaking situation. Whatever makes you feel good, think of that time. Think positive language. Yeah, bring it on. I can do this. Oh my God, they're going to love me. And then magnify it and anchor it. And now tell me, how do you feel right now on this scale of 1 to 10? So put the numbers in the box for me, how you feel right now in the moment. Okay, so now Blake's gone up. Way, we have a 10. Okay, so 6 to 7, 7 to 8. But when you compare these with earlier, yeah, they've all gone up, which is amazing. So that is fantastic. Now, if you can practice doing this, all right, these numbers from where you are right now, sat at home just watching me, I'm not going to lie, they'll probably drop down a bit, but you should get them above what they were that you typed in earlier on. Okay, so any questions on any of the stuff? I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And the other thing is, any questions? No, you're not having to speak at present. That's right, exactly right, Fiona. Which is why I said when you're in the moment that you are, it's likely to drop again. But by practicing this, you can, if you were ordinarily about to speak and you're a 3, by practicing this, you're not going to go from a 3 to an 8, which where you are right now, but there's a good chance you're going to go up from a 3 to a 5. And then by keeping on practicing doing it, this will go up. I promise you, it does work. I promise you. Okay, any questions or comments? Because the thing is to remember, it's all about having fun and making speaking fun. And that's what we're going to do next for about another 15 minutes or so before we wrap up. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, there's so much more to confidence than just this. Knowing your stuff is indeed a huge part of it. So I'm going to stop sharing. Yeah, and now I can let Jeff into the room. Hello, hiya, Jeff. Oh, he's in his car. Stay safe. I don't want to distract you. I hope you weren't doing that exercise while you were driving. Alrighty. So, okay, Rachel's had to disappear. No problem. All right. So, how did you find that? Any questions? Any comments? Anything of that nature? Because what I'm going to do now is we're going to have a little bit of a fun free-for-all. So if you kind of feel nervous, just start bringing that in. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to do random topics. All right, so where are my little topics I have prepared? What did I do with them? I've lost my topics. Oh, there they are, underneath my pad. Okay, so who wants to go first? I'm just going to give you a topic, and then I want you to talk between 1 or 2 minutes on the topic that I give you. Who wants to go first? Yeah, go on, Blake. Well done. Brilliant. Okay, so, right, do you want to test your microphone?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear you. Okay,
Fantastic.
So just simply tell us, what is the best thing about your summer so far that's happened?
I've worked a lot this summer, so I don't take vacations, and I don't really travel. So let's see. What good happened this summer? Well, I can tell you that this summer I didn't lose power near as often. And my air conditioning worked fully throughout the entire summer, and I got to go swimming a lot more, which was a lot of fun. So those are three things that are fantastic about my summer so far. Also, now it's winding down, so that's even better.
Go on, go on for a bit longer. Another 50 seconds.
A bit longer. Okay. This is hard.
I know. I'm pushing you.
Okay. I have nothing. I don't.
Well,
I don't do anything.
You've now got 2 minutes. Well done.
I don't do anything. I work.
Brilliant. Okay, well done, well done, well done. And a lot of this is just getting used to thinking off the top of your head, and you get better at doing this as you go along. All right, so who wants to go next? Yay. Oh, was that you putting your hand up, Jeff, or were you just opening your... Hang on, I'm going to unmute you. Was that a yes or no? Yes, brilliant. Okay,
all right.
So Jeff, welcome, Jeff.
Well, thank you.
Before I give you your topic, do you want to just briefly introduce yourself to everybody else?
Yeah, hi, everyone. Jeff Brody. I'm located in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And I did participate 4 days of the 5 days of the elevator pitch with Tina, and that was really great. And then I disappeared to the cottage for 4 days, so with no internet. So I had to, and then I came back just catching up. So
yeah, that's a note to self. Don't plan a challenge just before a holiday weekend.
Yeah. And I'm an IT consultant and 21-year business owner.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so here's your little thing. Okay, again, between 1 and 2 minutes. What do you want to achieve between now and Christmas?
Okay, so the things that I want to change between now and Christmas is I do want to improve my ability to say yes to more business. And that's something that's why I've showed up that's why I'm here on the scene. I'm learning about improving my speaking. I'm very comfortable speaking to the public and expressing my ideas and choosing good words. But I do find it a challenge at times to say yes to things. So I'm learning how to say yes. I'm working with Amy Bernier on that and the Guerrilla Army Nation and the Guerrilla Crew. So I'm learning all about this. What I want to change is I want to be able to comfortably own my own power and say yes to myself. So between now and December, and I would really love to be able to present my ideas more succinctly. So spend more time planning and delivering and expose myself to more potential clients and owners and new friends like yourself and experts like yourself, Tina. So thank you.
Cool, brilliant. That was 1 minute and 15 seconds. Well done, well done, well done. And nice to have you here. Okay, who wants to go next? Right, cool. Well done, Fiona. Well done, Fiona. So, oops. My mute button isn't working. All right, so let me know. I know what you're going to say here. It's just worked out this way. Tell us about your favorite hobby.
Well, actually, I no longer ride. No, because I no longer ride. It used to be riding and carriage driving, but I've had so many accidents, not necessarily riding, but that my body isn't as good as it should be now. And at the moment, reading is my favorite hobby. I love reading. But my favorite hobby below reading at the moment is working out in the swimming pool, where I have invented all sorts of exercises, tying my ankles to elastics and doing exercises in the pool rather than on dry land, because I find it really difficult on dry land because of my bad joints and also all the sweating because of the menopause, which doesn't help life at all. Whereas in the swimming pool, you don't notice it. So that's the two things, the reading and working out in the pool, which unfortunately will be coming to an end because the summer is coming to an end and the pool is not heated. So it gets a bit chilly. Apart from that, what else do I like doing? Animals. I have a lot of animals, so I like looking after my animals. I don't really do much with them apart from look after them, though.
Okay, well done. That was a minute and a half. Well done, well done,
Okay.
well done. Okay, who wants to go next? Oh, okay, we got Marion and Carolyn tied. Okay, Marion, I'll let you go first. I've got one for you afterwards, Carolyn. Okay, so Marion, in fact, Fiona would have liked this one because the next one on my list is tell us about your either current or favourite book.
Wow. Not actually reading it. Oh, well, let me see. Oh, actually, I'll tell you about the book I read on holiday. It is Mavis Cheek, who is an author that I really enjoy. She's got very sort of self-deprecating humor, she writes. I suppose it's chick lit, but it's her standard of quality of writing is very good. And there's always this undercurrent of sort of self-deprecating humor that means it's got more to it than just an easy story. So it made a very good holiday read. And that the particular book of hers that I chose was about dog days. And it was very funny. I was actually rereading it, and I found it just as funny the second time round as I did the first, which is for me always amazing. Mostly a funny book is never as funny the second time, but this one was.
Okay, cool, well done. That was a minute 20 seconds. All right, fabulous. So we just got Robert and Carolyn left, so I'm going to come to you next, Rob. I'm going to leave you to last, Carolyn. I got a good one for you. All right, so Robert, what is your? It's a mute you. Oops. What is your guilty pleasure?
This is unfair. Oh, my guilty pleasure. Well, I'm on a diet right now, and so one of my guilty pleasures is ice cream. Oh, it's a protein ice cream that's like really low calorie, but very good. You've seen it. It's Halo Top. It's amazing. And I tend to buy myself electronic gadgets that I really don't need, but I want them because they're cool, and then I never use them. So that's the guilty pleasure of mine, and it all takes place on Amazon, where all good stuff happens. So
go on, try and go for a bit longer. 20 seconds more.
20 seconds more.
Tell us about the flavors.
Oh my gosh. So I'm really upset. I'm so upset. They have a flavor called pancakes and waffles, and I can't find it anywhere. Like, they keep teasing me and telling me they've made it, but where is it? Like, until I see it and taste it, I don't believe that they've ever made it. So I'm not buying it for 2 seconds, unless it's at the grocery store, and then it may not make it home. I'll be sitting in the parking lot and eat it and cry at the same time. So there's my guilty pleasures.
Well done. You actually made it to a minute and 15 seconds then. Well done. All right. So Carolyn. Oh, I'm getting feedback. Let me put my mute. It might be Jeff's. There we go. That's better. All right. So Carolyn. Okay. For you, what is your most embarrassing speaking moment?
Oh. So the most embarrassing speaking moment was when I was at the university working with students, and I was their peer educator trainer. And the vice president of my country, I'm actually Kenyan, not South African, but Kenyan with South African permanent residence status. So I was working at the university, and the vice president came to visit us at one of those occasions. And my students were going to do a presentation of a song. We had the piano, we had them all there with the guitars and the vocalists and everybody. And I was asked to introduce them. And then I stood there and I said, Honorable Sir George Saitoti, and then I blanked out for like 2 minutes. And everyone was like motioning. People were kind of like telling me what to say. And obviously the vice president could hear everything everyone is trying to tell me. And then just like that, I just continued. It was as if there was no stop in between. And I say, it's with such a pleasure that we're standing here to present to you this beautiful song that was written by one of our students. And everyone thought it was part of my presentation, but I was so embarrassed. And after that, I decided that for every speaking engagement, I will prepare myself psychologically and put myself in that situation where I imagine that I'm standing in front of people and kind of like rehearse it, so I do not get myself into such an embarrassing moment. But that was so embarrassing. After that, I went home. I didn't want to meet the vice president, even though they wanted to meet me. And yeah, that was my embarrassing moment.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I knew you'd have a good story. Brilliant. Thank you. Okay, so that was just 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Well done. All righty, fantastic. So that's kind of the end of the fun free-for-all, where you all get to kind of pitch in and do random stuff. Now, in the future, what we're going to do is we're going to have, at this point, somebody who tells us how many ums we made. And our gold star report, where people come out with, you know, pearls of joy that they found from us and give us gold stars. And that's pretty much it. Now, thank you so much for participating, staying with me throughout all of this. And I hope you've got a lot of benefit out of it. So what I want to do is tell you about my plans for the club going forward. Now, what I want to do is set up a kind of weekly club where we really massively progress our skills, our confidence, our competence, being much more fluid in our pitches, so that when we're with clients, we can get the client saying yes to us much more easily. So it's obviously, I can't do it for free, but it's not going to be a massive amount. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up for the first 10 at $47 a month, which I hope you think is nice, a nice low amount, but hopefully that you would get great value from it. So in future, what we're going to do is we're going to have people doing prepared pitches. I've got an educational program. When will it be? Probably around about the same time. On a Friday evening. I don't know. It's going to be one of those things. There's always going to be somebody who can't make whatever. I will do my best. Also, if I get enough takers to run a second club, I would make that obviously at a very different time. So, but I'm looking at the moment at it being the same kind of time, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock on a Friday night for the Spanish. 7 o'clock UK time, 2 o'clock New York time, 1 o'clock Central Standard, 12 noon what's it called? Mountain time, 11 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. I'm getting good at these time zones now. So yeah, so what it'll be kind of similar tonight, except it'll be more tight. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a flavour tonight. So like the warm-ups will be tighter, there'll be prepared speeches, there'll be evaluations, you'll learn to evaluate. And do you know what? By evaluating other speakers, it really progresses your own learning massively. I learned so much by learning how to evaluate, and I got to the point where I was actually, which is quite good really, as I'm a coach, I was a better evaluator than I was a speaker, and I won all sorts of, competitions and all kinds of things. But when you can evaluate, you get better at evaluating yourself as well. And then what we'll do with the, kind of topics, we'll make that we'll make the tutorial will be shorter and the speaking will be more. And I'm going to put together a membership site where you'll have actual speaking projects to work on every time. So how does that sound? Do you like the idea of it? Do you think, yeah, I'm in? Do you think, oh, well, I'd love it, but I'd like it if there was this? Because I'm open to suggestions. I'm using the format that I'm familiar with Toastmasters. However, I want to make it more online friendly. So we're not going to have the formal, I've forgotten what they are now. They call it the honorifics. Madam Toastmaster, fellow members, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to do that because a lot of the kind of speaking that we're likely to do, being online, you don't do that these days in the same way. So we're not going to do it quite as formally, but there's still going to be a structure and there's still going to be something for you to work towards. But what I'm going to do is help you with the pitch from the moment you grab their attention at the beginning, through what I call then the pasty, which is a really special format of moving from the opening into the body of your talk, which is all about positioning and seeding and getting people wanting more from you before you've even got to the pitch at the end. And then the body, which I have a system which I call craft. So you craft each step or point, and the whole point of that is to seed the desire. For me, it's not about selling, even though this program's called Speaking to Sell, because that's the thing that attracted people's attention when I was doing my research. But it's actually not about selling. It's about creating buyer desire. It's about getting people wanting to buy, so that by the time you reveal your product, people are going, oh my God, I want it, I want it, I want it. Where do I buy? Where's the buy now button? Where do I sign? That's what I want for you. And a lot of the principles you can take into one-to-one consultations as well. So if you like that idea of having the weekly projects and going forward, I won't do it right now, but I'll drop the link. I've put a little, an order page now, and forgive me, I'm great at running classes. I'm great at speaking. I'm great at teaching speaking. I'm not the best technical person in the world. So if something doesn't work, if you don't get the email, if you kind of hit the buy now button and something doesn't work, just email me, message me on Facebook, and I'll put it right. But I'm always nervous when it's the first time that I released something and I haven't done something technical somewhere. Because it's like a domino effect, isn't it? One little mistake in your tech somewhere buggers the whole thing up. So, like I said, for the first 10, it's going to be $47. Then it's going to be $67 for the next 10. And then for the last 5, no. For the first 10, it's 47. For the next 5, it's 67. And the last 5, it's 97. And that's because there's a ceiling. Once we get to 20, that's it. Doors closed. So I thought I could either open it up, keep the price down, but for it to be worth my while, I'd need to take more people, but then it would take you forever to get through your projects. Or if I thought if I put it, a little bit of a higher price on it and make it exclusive, no, 20, you will get to deliver a 5 to 7 minute part of your presentation every single month. plus you'll do other roles like evaluations, like the little fun free-for-alls, like being the grammarian, like being the MC for the meeting, and all of that good stuff. So you will all get a chance to participate every single meeting. Any questions? Who likes the idea? Who thinks that they're going to join in? Yay! Cool. All right. So, thank you so much. I'm going to unmute you all, or if you just unmute yourselves, and let's just have a free-for-all. Fiona, it depends on your timetable. Okay. Is it annual? Basically, it's up to you. It's just, so if you jump on board at $47 a month, the price will not go up, and you stay as long as you feel you want to remain a member. So it's not like you have to be a member for an entire year. If by the end of, I would say 6 months, I mean, some people enjoy this kind of thing and stay a member for years, just because, you know, it's nice to keep your hand in. You're not locked in, but you can continue as long as you like. Once the 10 places at 47 have gone and it goes up, then gradually, as people naturally drop out and new people come in, then the future price will be, you know, at the moment it's 47 because I'm still putting it together, I guess. You're my beta testers, you're my founder members. So yeah, if you like the idea, great. And to start with, you might end up having to do a bit more work, because if we don't have 20 members, you might end up speaking every week instead of every month. So it depends how it gets on with getting people to join. But if you like the idea, spread it around as well. Tell people, because the more the merrier, up to that maximum ceiling of 20, after which it just gets too big to manage. And we'll have some fun. We will increase our skills, and you watch everybody else in our little circles. You watch them be blown away by your Facebook Lives, your interviews that you do, your webinars that you're going to be able to do, and all the rest of it. And they'll want to know how you know, because it's like a skill. Practice it, you get blooming good. Learn from, you know, people who've kind of learned and done. I mean, I learned the hard way. I've got a funny story to share with you. In fact, I did put on my personal timeline that I would share the story with my Royal Marine story. This is my embarrassing speaking moment. This was before I was actually taught what to do. I was working in financial services, and I had to go and deliver financial presentations. And one of the places that I had to deliver, I was actually doing at one point working purely with the forces, and I had to go to the Royal Marines training place in the southwest of England, place called Limpston, where they, you know, where they train them all, and it was theatre style. So I was like little, and they were all like, you know, around me in a horseshoe, and they were all looking down on me, and I was about, I don't know, 30, maybe 34, something like that. I can't remember. And I was terrified. I'd not been taught how to speak properly. It was just, get out there, there's the presentation, do it. You know, it was just horrific for me. And I stood there, and I got to the bit where it said in my notes, so now we're going to talk about protection. And of course, I'm thinking life insurance. They were all thinking something very different. And they started laughing, but they weren't like laughing out loud with, you know, with me. It was like they were like, you know, and that made me feel worse. It was like they were laughing at me. And it was like, in the UK, we have this word called sniggering. I think in the US, I've been told you call it snickering, but it felt uncomfortable. And I would love to tell you that I turned it round and I won them over there and then. I didn't. I scooted through the rest of the presentation. I just literally wanted the floor to open up and die. I mean, can you imagine how I felt? And I just scooted through the rest of the presentation and fled. And then it's a bit like you said, Carolyn. I was supposed to stick around in case they wanted to ask questions and in case they actually wanted to sign up. You know, I lost money because regardless of if they wanted to buy any of the policies, I just didn't wait to find out, and I just scarpered. But I knew I had to go back and do it again the following week with a different bunch, and I thought, oh man, what am I going to do when I get to this bit? So I just sat there and I analysed, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I just went, I've just got to be brazen about this. So the next time I got to that bit and I said, right, now we're going to talk about protection. And no, gentlemen, I don't mean your sex life. I mean something way more important. I'm talking about your money, you know? And yeah, they laughed, but now they were laughing with me, and they gave me so much more respect because I'd hit that problem straight on. Now, I had to learn the hard way, but obviously by doing this kind of thing, having somewhere safe where you can practice, you can come up with that kind of stuff. And then you can think, yeah, what can I do next time? But don't learn in the real world. Learn in the safe environment. You know, that's kind of the message. But in the end, I got to enjoy my presentations with the Marines. I mean, what's not to enjoy? I was surrounded by men all day. It was great. I was 34 and loving it, you know. So yeah, it was good fun. If only I knew then, though, what I knew now about how to speak to sell. God, I would have made so much more money. But there you go. Because I was crap at selling. I used to be crap at selling. Even though I was in a sales job, nobody taught me how. And it's a skill. Selling is a skill. Speaking is a skill. Speaking to sell is two skills put together. So that's what my aim is to help you to do that. So that's it. We kind of come to the end. I want to give you all a big round of applause for your participation. Yay! Did you enjoy that, guys?
It was awesome. Thank you, Tina.
Cool.
Yeah.
And we've been on a journey with Jeff. He's now in his environment, ready to speak. So fantastic. All right. So have you got any final questions, comments?
You're going to provide a link for us?
Yes, I will drop it. I'll go and get it as soon as I've ended the broadcast. I will pop it into the video, and I'll put it in the description so that you've got the link to come and join. And if it doesn't work like it's supposed to, just message me, because I haven't. I'm going to be honest, I haven't tested it. I'm sick and tired of buying my own products just so I can test if they work.
Good, it's all good, Tina. This is an amazing opportunity that you've offered us here today, especially to get in early and to be in a small community while it grows.
Yeah,
right?
Thanks.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to do this with you.
That's an absolute pleasure, and I'm really excited because it's something that I've wanted to do, a kind of ongoing thing. And do you know what? I cannot believe I didn't think of this. I was thinking, what can I do for a continuity program? And I want to have something where, because I'm social, I love training, I love having regular contact. And it was Arnie who said to me, well, why don't you do an online speaking club? I can't believe I ran Toastmasters for years. I've been working online for 6 years, and for some reason, I just did not think of putting the two things together. How crazy is that? And that's also, doesn't it just go to show sometimes we're too close to our own stuff to see the bleeding obvious?
Yeah, most times we're too close to our own stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for giving up your time. I can't believe we've actually filled the 2 hours. I thought, oh gosh, if this doesn't go well, after half an hour, everybody will be leaving. So I really appreciate you giving up your time, but hopefully you're going to find that it's 2 hours a week that's spent, you know, that's valuable and that's going to help you move forward. So on that note, Robert and I have a wedding to go and plan.
That's exciting.
Because I am relinquishing my client for I can't even remember the name of it now. My
client attraction for
coaches, and it is getting wedded to marketing to millennials.
All right. Well,
Congratulations to the nuptials.
Thank you. Well, we're going to have a celebration. It's in an hour from now. So if you want to join us, it's going to be happening in the Marketing to Millennials group. And we're going to be telling you what that's all about. And that's just going to be a free thing for the time being. So don't worry, we're not going to be asking you to part with any cash if you join our party.
Okay.
Not yet, anyway. Who knows?
It's going to be a whole lot of fun, though. We got to have a whole lot of fun
we
first.
We are going to have loads of fun, and we're going to, because the thing is, the client attraction and the speaking kind of go together, and yet they're different, which is why it's kind of working out the way that it is, and it's all very exciting. So, right, so have an amazing evening or afternoon, wherever you happen to live. So we got a few of us on our time zone. We got Marion and Carolyn and Fiona and me, outnumbering the US time zone peeps for a change. Yeah. And if Rachel was still here, she's on the same time zone. So yeah, cool. Anyway, I'll have an amazing rest of the evening or afternoon for you guys across the pond. Any of you who have family or friends in the Florida area, sending my hugs and prayers and thoughts, and anybody who might be affected with it. So let's keep them in mind as well. And I'll see you all very, very, very soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.